Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm a yogi. Now, what exactly that means can depend on the audience. So I created one of those perceptions versus reality memes, starting with some of my perceived perceptions. While a lot of this is close to the truth, I think what yoga really looks like in my life is a little bit more like this. See, although I practice yoga pretty often in a group class on a mat, I think the real yoga is what I do off the mat. I first encountered yoga when I was a young kid, watching my mom do Rodney Yee VHS tapes in our living room. And I was inspired, not holistically though. I had one thing in mind, that forward fold, head to the knees, fingers to the toes, because apparently that's cool when you're a kid. Now, I was not an athletic kid. I was a music kid. I started playing the violin when I was 4 years old, and my mom said, "No sports for you, Missy. It's too distracting, and you could hurt your violin fingers." So no sports, no skiing, no four-wheeling, basically no doing all the things every other normal kid living in upstate New York was doing.
Thank you.
But I really didn't care because music really was my thing, and I could still play outside with my friends and participate in gym class. Until 6th grade.
Thank you.
Something changed for me. I experienced my first asthma attack.
Thank you.
So I go to the doctor, and he tells me I have an exercise and allergy-induced asthma. And he puts me on a steroid inhaler, which I have to start taking daily. And even with this medication, there were still times where I overexerted myself and found myself in this state of gasping for air and panicked. And often it was in front of my friends, so I felt incredibly embarrassed and scared. So I stopped participating in gym class. I stopped really trying to do anything involving sports, and I avoided running at all costs. But this is what brought me back to yoga. Yoga became an accessible means of exercise for me, a place where I could work out, but not feel embarrassed by my lack of athletic skills or fearful that I was going to have an asthma attack or hurt my violin fingers. So I started doing yoga tutorials online just by myself, here and there. And then in college, I realized, there's group classes. I could go try this with other people. So I started going to studio after studio. And the more exposure I got to yoga, the more I realized I was strengthening myself beyond my physical body. Now, a lot happens in a 60 to 90-minute yoga class, and depending on the style of the class, they can vary a lot in difficulty and intensity. I saw a meme recently that said, "Yoga, it's Simon Says for adults."
Oh, I thought you wanted me out of the way.
And I'd like to say it's Simon Says meets Twister, because there were lots of times as a beginner I said, "You want me to put my foot where and do what exactly?" Yeah. So I don't want to talk to you today about the down dogs or the back bends or the arm balances, poses. I want to tell you about the 3 things about a yoga class that have empowered my life off of the mat and could do the same for you. The first thing being how a yoga class starts. The teacher will instruct you to just sit and notice. So let me be your guide for a moment, and I'm going to walk you through this. Go ahead and close your eyes and just start to notice. Feel the weight of your body within your seat. Start to scan yourself from head to toe, noticing any little sensation, discomfort. How are you feeling?
Anxious.
Start to observe your breath, each inhale and exhale. Is it shallow, deep, choppy, smooth? Now start to bring some awareness to your mental state, your thoughts. Are you following my voice, or have you already started to wander? Recognize that you are in control of your thoughts. The past, it's already gone. Just let it go. And the future, it has yet to come. So you don't have to wait for it. All that really matters is right here and right now. And right here and right now, I'd like you to ask yourself, what does your body need? What would suit it best today? And think of a word, a statement, an image, an affirmation, something that might help your body to achieve what it needs. I like to think of an I am statement. I am strong. I am capable. I am worthy. Just manifest something positive for yourself and put it into the universe. Okay, audience, you can go ahead and gently open your eyes. Wow, what a concept. Just sitting, taking a moment to acknowledge yourself. Set a goal, affirm something positive. Doesn't that feel good?
So I guess you can just let me know.
What if you did it every day? For many of us, our days are filled with doing, worrying about this and that, past and future, and often doing things for everyone except for ourselves.
Sounds good.
All output.
Yeah, no worries.
No input. Why not take a moment to ask yourself,
I'll just skip a beat.
How am I doing? My second favorite aspect of a yoga class is focus on the breath. Now, breathing is obviously an involuntary action, but it doesn't mean that our body is always capable of maintaining an effective breath. And having asthma, I knew all too well what it felt like to not be in control of my breath. In yoga, there are many breathing techniques designed to help you do just that. And often, the motion is guided by the breath. So the Surya Namaskara, the sun salutation of a basic yoga flow, is inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step back to a plank position. This idea of moving with the breath, that was monumental for me. Because one of my biggest asthmatic barriers was that I was never thinking about the breath. By the time I thought about my breath, it was too late and I was already panicking. See, I was letting the sympathetic part of my nervous system take over. That's the fight or flight. It's where your heart starts racing, the adrenaline is pumping.
I'm feeling that right now.
But when you breathe, you do the opposite. You activate the parasympathetic part of your brain. That's your rest and digest. It slows the heart rate and allows you to relax. The oxygen you get from breathing, it's like a magic elixir. And yoga has taught me how to attain it. My third and favorite aspect of a yoga class is the final posture, Shavasana. This Sanskrit word translates to corpse pose. So essentially it's playing dead. Doesn't that sound fun? You should try it sometime. You lay on your back with your arms and your legs splayed open, and you just allow yourself to completely melt into the floor. You let everything go. Now, physically, that's not so hard to do. It feels great. However, you also have to let go of your thoughts and try and clear your mind to a blank slate. Now, that's not easy to do. And it's here that I have learned so much about myself. Because when you start to push thoughts away, they try to push back in. And you start to realize which thoughts are the strongest. The ones that you can't push away. I sometimes wonder during this moment as a music teacher how I can be a better teacher. It's like in this moment of darkness, I can suddenly see myself clearly for who I am, the choices I've made, and who I want to be. And if going into yoga, any of my thoughts were negative, after going through that flow, setting an intention and pumping all of that oxygen to my brain and then finally getting to this spot of surrender and just letting everything go, well, by the end, I'm suddenly not even thinking about those negative thoughts anymore. It's like they've fizzled away. I always joke that it saved me from writing a lot of angry emails. Now, coming out of Shavasana, you don't just jump out of this pose. The teacher has you come into a fetal position on your side. That's the same position we're born in. And it does represent a rebirth. No longer a corpse, but a person ready to reemerge into the world, feeling more confident, stronger, and more at peace. My favorite quote is attributed to Buddha, and it's, "Every day we're reborn, and it's what we do today that matters the most."